Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Neni Suryani. On this occasion, I will review a film about American Indian tribes in 1990 entitled Dance with Wolves, starting from intrinsic elements to extrinsic elements. The first is intrinsic elements. This film depicts themes about cultural encounters between Indians and American colonialists, the battle between nature and technology, and the search for identity and freedom. The film Dance with Wolves follow a linear narrative storyline. This means that the story takes place from beginning to the end sequentially, without involving flashbacks or scans that jump to the past or future. So this film used a forward flow. There are five main characters in this film. The first is John Denver, or Dance with Wolves, stands with a piece, kicking bird wind in his hair, and 10 bears. John Denver is the main character in this film. He was an American military soldier determined to carry out his studies, but he had a curious nature, a respect for nature, and a willingness to understand Indian culture. His character develops into a brave person respectful of Sioux culture. And for Stan with a Face is a mixed race woman who has emotional scars resulting from a traumatic childhood experience. Her character has intelligence and a deep sense of curiosity. Kicking Bird was a wise and caring leader of the Sioux tribes. He helps Dumber understand Sioux culture, and his character represents peace and tranquility. When in his hair was a young Sioux and was initially skeptical of Dumber, but later became his close friend. Danvers was a wise Sioux chief and determined to achieve peace with the white man. He described the nature of leadership and intercultural understanding. For the settings, this film is set in the vast and beautiful American West. Some scenes show the open plains, hills, and forests that make up the typical nature landscape of American West. The time in this film takes place during American Civil War. This is reflected in scenes at military posts and in references to war and conflict with Indian tribes. The atmosphere in this film is very deserved. Initially, the film creates an atmosphere of solitude and isolation when John Denver arrives at the remote, neglected outpost. Later, when John Denver began interacting with the Sioux, the atmosphere became warmer and more friendly. The film also creates a beautiful and peaceful atmosphere when highlighting the relationship between Denver and the Indian tribes and their harmonious life with nature. In the film Dance with Wolves, a third person point of view is used. This means the audience sees and follows the events of the story from a point of view that is not limited to one single character. The audience can see and understand the feelings, thoughts, and action of various characters, especially focus on John Denver, the main character. In the film Dance with Wolves, there are various language styles used to create certain nuances and characteristics. Some of the language styles used in this film include mixed languages, descriptive language, metaphorical language, and cultural language. Dance with Wolves present a moral message about the importance of intercultural understanding, peace, and friendship. For the extrinsic elements, there are 2 points. The first is author's background, and the second is community background. For the author's backgrounds, Michael Blake is the author of the novel Dance with Wolves, which was later adapted into the film Dance with Wolves. Michael Blake was born on July 5, 1945 in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, U.S. Michael Blake was a writer and playwright known primarily for his work relating to the American West and Indian culture. One of his most famous works is the novel Dance with Wolves, which he wrote in 1986. After the success of the novel, Michael Black wrote the script for the film adaptation of Dance with Wolves, which was eventually directed by Kevin Costner. The film became very successful and won Academy Awards including Best Picture. Michael Black died in 2015, but his legacy in literature and cinema continues to be remembered through his works, especially Dance with Wolves. The second is community background. The societal background in these films highlights the complex cultural encounters and various challenges faced by various groups in the America West at that time. The beginning of the film depicts John Danvers' life at a remote military post on the America West frontier. The soldiers at this post were isolated and left threatened by the Indians and other groups that inhabit the region. This film provides an in-depth look at the life and culture of the Sioux Indians. The Sioux life in Tibet have a rich spiritual culture and depend on hunting for survival. American soldiers, especially those stationed on the western frontier, are part of the film's society. They represent the American government trying to control the region during the Civil War period. So that's all from my review of the film Dance with Wolves. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.